pigs.
I guess I'm glad I don't know what 4chan is. Like, even I'm not really sure. I think it's just like a forum where a bunch of trolls come together and talk about trolling or some shit, and they troll each other. I don't really know. I know that 8chan spawned from it, and that's where they do the Gamergate shit.
There was nothing inherently wrong with Gamergate.
Gamergate, I don't know. Like, I heard that their claims are unsubstantiated about Zoe Quinn.
No, they weren't substantiated. They were fully true.
That's not what Wikipedia says. That there's no proof, or that. I mean, you could say that Wikipedia is not a reliable source, but I mean, I heard from.
I don't want to sound like a dick, but are you familiar with Total Biscuit?
Yeah.
Listen, if Gamergate was unsubstantial, then he wouldn't have supported it and support it as he still does.
Well, I mean, just because Total Biscuit supports it doesn't mean that it's their criticism is legitimate. But from what I understand, they allege that Zoe Quinn got positive coverage of her game, Depression Quest, but it was investigated and there was no evidence to support that theory.
She did get positive. Here's the thing: she did get positive coverage of her game from a game journalist that she had been in a sexual relationship with.
I believe that she was in a sexual relationship with someone. I mean, that's probably true. But I haven't seen this review that gave her positive coverage. It was never like
There's two articles. You can easily. There's videos that have them, and I think the articles are still up actually.
Like, if I'm shown it, then I might be willing to look more into it. But from what I've read, what I've seen, those claims were not substantiated. I'm not saying it's not true, but I'm just saying the claims, from what I've read, haven't been substantiated. Let's see. Manifestation trolling is illegal in certain countries. You know, maybe you should live there. Wiki deletes unreliable sources. Classified journalism. I hid my IP. Novani says, if Gamergate is about ethics among journalists, why is it the female dev receiving 14 times as many outrage tweets as the male journalists? Yeah, so like about the ethics in game.
Sorry, I didn't even hear that.
She's saying that the female game developer is receiving 14 times as many outrage tweets as the male journalists.
No, that's not true. And here's the thing: here's a couple of things you need to take into consideration. A, you need to take into consideration how many of those are fake accounts, just one person behind the same account. The second, you need to think about how many of those were the person themselves doing it, because there have been instances of people being caught out doing that. And second of all, it's got nothing to do with outrage. It had nothing to do with people being outraged with female developers, female authors, or anything like that. It hadn't. The primary goal of it was to highlight ethics in journalism. The problem is on top of any hashtag trend,
see you later, Jimmy.
You get people that join it that just troll with it, that take shit too far. Right. Like with anything. I mean, look at what happened with Atheism Plus.
So you're saying that there are some asshats and trolls within the Gamergate community?
Not within the community, because here's the thing. It was a hashtag. It was a hashtag thing. So anybody could have used it, and anybody could have used it. It wasn't like a secure community where it was screening members. It was just a hashtag.
Crimson Graves, those things, I believe those are celestial beings. They're kind of like aliens.
Welcome. What is?
Yeah, it's possible that some trolls could co-opt the hashtag and use it for their own agenda because they want to push an agenda against.
But a lot of the main figureheads of Gamergate were openly speaking out against people sending harassment tweets and shit like that. They were primarily focused on just games journalism.
And the games journalism allegation is that she received positive coverage because she had sex with some guy in the industry.
No, not because she had sex. It was because that a journalist had written articles about her, giving her positive coverage, and didn't disclaim that he knew her in any respect, which is
that's what I was
of.
That's what I was going to get at. That this guy gave her positive coverage because he had sex with her.
Not because he had sex with her. It's not that. It is against It's against journalistic ethics for someone to cover something without disclaiming any links they have with it. It's like, for example, if a journalist was to talk about Donald Trump, they would have to disclaim if they donated to Trump's fucking presidency campaign, and that journalist then written an article about Trump, they would need to disclose that they had previously donated to Trump's campaign.
So you're saying that the outrage is just the fact that it's not the fact that he had supposedly had sex with this girl and then wrote a positive article about her game. It's the fact that he didn't disclose that he had sex with this girl.
It's that he didn't disclose that he knew her on a personal level that could cause a bias in the article.
Yeah, but I mean, I honestly...
Here's the thing. Here's another good example. It was like, for example, is when Machinima got caught when people found out that Microsoft was paying Machinima to give them good coverage on their product.
Sure, that would be wrong. And that would be wrong. Yeah,
and they weren't disclosing that they were being paid to sponsor and give good coverage of the Xbox One.
Yeah, and that's of course wrong. I mean, obviously the fact that they didn't disclose it, that's wrong. But even if they did disclose it, I mean, that's still wrong. I mean, it doesn't really make a difference to me whether they disclose it or not. You know, just saying, hey, by the way, I'm being paid by Microsoft to give positive coverage of this thing. I mean, that's wrong too.
Again, like I said, that is a form of I can't remember the actual fucking word for it. Give me a minute. I'm trying to. It's actually.
Where am I heading to? Nilavani said, but even if it's about ethics in journalism, then the ethical standard should have been put on Nathan Grayson, that he gave a review for sex and not Zoe Quinn had sex for reviews. Yeah,
but
that's a good point.
Again,
that's a good point.
Here's the thing. Again, that is a result of the hashtag being hijacked because it is just that, a hashtag. It's kind of, for example, it's let's just say, and I'm sure there is an example of this. If someone took the "I stand with Orlando" hashtag and made it and did a pro-ISIS message about with that hashtag, that is someone hijacking the hashtag for another purpose. No one can stop that because it is just a hashtag.
Well, I don't think that's Nilavani's point. She's making the point that then the reviewer should be the one who's being attacked, and not. He
was. Here's the thing. He was. That is the biggest problem. he was given he was given flack. People were angry at him, but the problem was his editor-in-chief did nothing about it.
Okay, but then what's the problem with Zoe Quinn then? I mean, like, because you mentioned before that it's not, the problem wasn't...
Again, no one, like I said, no one gives a shit about Zoe Quinn. The only people who keep bringing up Zoe Quinn is the trolls. And then Zoe Quinn turns around and says she's getting all this harassment from Gamergate, and then the cycle continues. That and the people who do care about ethics in journalism turn around and say, we don't give a shit about Zoe Quinn, we care about Nathan Grayson, we care about the situation as it stands and other ethics in journalism. Because the machinima thing that I was mentioning was also something that was brought up in Gamergate.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying right now that okay, let me ask you a question. Do you think Zoe Quinn did anything wrong, according to the allegations?
No. Honestly, no. She just fucked a guy, and
allegedly.
That's it. Now, if she'd... No, she did. It's proven.
Well, I'll just say allegedly, because I don't know if that is true.
For debate's sake, yes, allegedly she slept with him. Okay, we'll go with allegedly. Hey, Joe. We'll go with allegedly.
Hey, Jill, what's up?
Right. If she allegedly had slept with him, she didn't do anything wrong. She's a game developer, but she did nothing wrong. Now, if she had asked Nathan to put out this article, then she did something wrong. But that's impossible to tell at this point. The onus squarely lies on Nathan for writing the article and not disclosing that he knew Zoe Quinn. So that might skew his article with a little bias.
Well, if we're going to talk about bias, I also want to bring up the fact that this whole story was brought to light from an ex-boyfriend of Zoe Quinn. So, I mean, isn't that a biased source from the start? Because, I mean, why he would only say this stuff because he has an axe to grind and because he wants to take revenge against Zoe Quinn.
That is a bias but that is irrelevant to the point, especially when he is showing screen captions of the conversation.
But you know the only reason why he's doing this is because he wants to get back at Zoe Quinn for cheating on him, allegedly.
Irrelevant. Motivation is irrelevant.
I understand that, but let's just say it is, though. Like, I mean, he is just doing this because he wants to get back at her.
He is irrelevant. The result of that post was Gamergate. The intention of his posting of those was not to start Gamergate. Gamergate was merely a result of that posting and the news coming out that she had in fact done this.
I understand that, but I'm just talking about his, like I know you understand. I know you understand. I know your position is that he is irrelevant to Gamergate. I'm just talking about his motivation. His motivation. I mean,
his motivation. I'm sure there was a bit of spite in it. Yeah. I'm sure there was a bit of spite, but honestly, though I think it was a fucking a bit of an arsehole thing to do. The guy found out his girlfriend had cheating on him with I think it was like at that time I think it was 4 of the guys.
4 or 5 guys. I heard like they were making a reference to like 5 guys or whatever.
Well, I can't give you the exact number, but I can have some sympathy for him posting it. But yeah, it was a douchey thing to do.
Yeah, you know, I mean, because like as a direct result of what he did, she got all kinds of death threats and stuff like that. You know, no matter how much you hate your ex-girlfriend, you shouldn't fuck her over like that to the point where she gets death threats and shit. You know, that's horrible. I think that's everything on this side.
And the problem is and like, yeah, you said that you got that information from Wikipedia. That problem is that got edited 3 times.
Yeah.
That page about Gamergate has been edited several times.
I would have to look at this review that was supposedly made by whoever it was, and see if it stacks up. Here's the other thing, though. I mean, even if they gave it a positive review, how do we know that? I mean, so what? I mean, maybe it is a good game. I've never played Depression Quest.
But again, it is a fact of journalistic ethics. It is something that it is. Hold on. Give me a minute.
Okay, here's the other shortcut.
All right, I'll give you the definition of journalistic ethics. Journalistic ethics and standard comprise principles of ethics and of good practice is acceptable to the specific challenges faced by journalists. Historically and currently, it subsets the media ethics is widely known as journalists, as the principal code of ethics and the canons of journalism. So basically, it's the shit that you're basically taught in journalism school that you're meant to do.
Right. Like
you're meant to disclose that you're meant to disclose information if there is a conflict of interest, that you should disclose it.
I hear what you're saying, and sure, things should be disclosed.
Because again, what I was saying earlier, with Machinima getting money from Xbox, they're giving it all this good press. The problem is, what if people buy that and it's not what the good press said it was? That is inherently the problem.
Yeah. Like I said, I would have to see the proof that there was a positive review and that this person really did know Zoe Quinn, or I shouldn't even say no.
Positive coverage.
Had sex with
positive
her.
coverage.
What's that?
I said positive coverage. I don't know what you. I did say. I'm sure I said positive coverage.
So it's not a review then.
But it's still a article piece about the game.
I don't know. That doesn't really bother me that much. Like, just an article is not really that big deal. A review is a big deal. You know, a review is like something it's assessing. Like an article that just says, hey, you know, like if they're doing a preview, I mean, previews aren't reviews. Or if it's just an article about, we get previews of games all the time, or just an article about it. It's always going to say something positive about it. You know, that happens all the time, even on shitty games. They would do articles about Watch Dogs and say, oh, look at this, look at that, but it's not a review. You know, so that doesn't really bother me that much. You know, if it were a review, that's a different story.
Alright, hold on. I'm gonna look up a specific amount, some specific videos, because give me a minute.
Alright, I think I have enough for a level up. So we'll head back now.
Secrets.
Actually, we're going this way.
I think I found the one of the initial videos about this that actually shows everything. I will send it to you via Facebook.
Nilvana says, all I know is Gamergate first appeared and has its roots in anti-feminist attacks on Anita Sarkisian. I've never seen such an irrational backlash on one person. And I also point out that, you know, the fact that their headquarters is 8chan, you know, it doesn't really endear themselves to me too much either.
I wouldn't exactly say their headquarters is 8chan, but obviously I never delved that deep into it. And here's the problem. Here again, this is a case of, yes, there are people who take the hashtag and run with it. But here's the thing. Anita Sarkisian isn't exactly squeaky clean in all of this either, especially when you look at some of the things she's done. For one,
Welcome. What is it?
She didn't even... Her original pledge on Kickstarter for her series, Feminist Frequency, hasn't fulfilled its quota. And now she's asking for more money for... now she's asking more money for another one, despite having the money to be able to do it.
Yeah, she's asking for more money.
For another project.
For a new project.
Despite having the money for it, because you're familiar with the Amazing Atheist, right?
Yeah, but I don't like that guy.
Here's the thing, like him or not, you know the fact that you have to file taxes for the IRS.
Yes.
He clearly shows that with the IRS reports that she has the money to start it, but she's asking for more money.
Sure.
So
Manifestation, please stop asking for donations. You've been asking like several times. All right. If someone wants to donate to you, they will, but please don't solicit that here.
If he asks again for that kind of, I'm sorry, Enigma, I'm kind of sorry if I'm hijacking, but if he asks again, fuck ban him. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Enigma, I know you've probably got a higher tolerance than me, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Like, enough already.
Right.
Yeah, you were saying? Go ahead.
Yeah, so there's that. There's also some of her large, her stealing YouTubers' content without crediting them as well, because she stole quite a few, quite a bit of her footage from World of Longplays.
Yeah, I'll agree that I don't really like. I mean, like it's fine.
And
that she
here's the other thing. Again, this is leading to another my last point. Sorry.
Go ahead.
And here's the other problem. She has a lot of misinformation in her videos. But the problem is anytime someone tries to disagree with her and try and argue against her points, like I'm talking discussion, argue, she flags it as harassment. That has been proven.
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean,
I'm sure she's getting harassed. I'm sure she's probably getting some harassing tweets. But the problem is there is no discernible way to prove whether it is from an actual contributor or true supporter of Gamergate or just someone who is trolling.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the unfortunate.
But we're expected.
It's the unfortunate consequence of anonymity on the internet. Believe me, I have criticisms of Anita Sarkisian. I don't have a problem with her making the videos that she did. The money thing, yeah, that is a little questionable. The money thing is a little questionable. Asking for more money is even more questionable. But I will point out the hypocrisy of Thunderfoot for then joining on the bandwagon and e-begging the same fucking thing so he can buy some fucking cameras. He's just as bad for doing that. I think that's, I think he got a little jealous that other people are e-begging and being successful for it, so now he wants to do it too. That's a pretty douchey thing.
Wait, when did Thunderfoot start asking for money?
He did I even did a video about this. He started e-begging for some infrared cameras. He wanted like $40,000 for some ridiculous fucking infrared camera. It's there. I have a video on it, and it's pretty douchey. But yeah. E-begging is kind of bottom of the barrel type of shit, so...
I'll throw that up, I haven't seen that. But, anyway, so yeah, that's... My problem with Anita Sarkisian is she doesn't... A lot of the stuff she says isn't factual at all. Ah, fuck's sake, I died. And she silences any criticism under the umbrella of misogyny and sexism.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's I'm hesitant to. Some of it may have been, some criticism may actually be sexist, but to broadly label all your critics as sexist, no, of course I disagree with that. Where should I go? Moonside Lake. I can't even remember where that goes. What does Nilavani's asking, what does she say that isn't factual?
Oh, man. Fuck's sake, I died again. Trying to answer that. Here's the thing, you're asking me like I can remember them all off the top of my head, but there are videos out there that document this. There are videos out there that do document it.
A lot of what she said is opinionated. I will say that her broad criticism of sexualized characters in video games, you know, I don't have a problem with sexualized characters in video games. There's nothing wrong with sex. There's nothing wrong with dressing sexy. You know, we often say that, you know, a woman should be allowed to dress however she wants. So then what's the problem with depicting a woman as a sexy character? You know, you could say objectifying women. There are some things about her criticism that I do agree with. You know, I do think like the Miss Male trope that she coined is actually a pretty decent criticism. I think that just taking an established male character and making it female actually minimizes that character and makes it look like it's just capitalizing off of the success of an already established character. That's a good criticism. I agree with that. But I disagree with most of, you know, like the idea that, oh, you can't sexualize women in video games. Oh, come on. That's okay.
Right. And a lot of it does come down to her personal preference. Like, it doesn't come down to any hard fact. It's like, oh man, what was it? I think, hold on, I do believe, like, I am gonna
Actually,
this one up
I'll answer the question for you because I remember one thing. I think she once tried to make the claim that video games or certain kinds of video games encourages violence against women. That I don't agree.
Bingo.
With.
Yes. Apparently, yeah, that was it. Killing a prostitute in GTA 5 encourages domestic violence against women in real life.
I don't believe that.
There is no correlation between that. In fact, there is multiple studies that show that the longer video games have been popular, violent crime has gone down.
We could say, like, in all fairness to that, I'll be the all fairness guy. Violent crime has gone down anyway, so we don't know if there's a correlation between video games and violent crime in a positive way.
There has been studies that show it.
But I will say that I do not believe the allegation that video games causes real-life violence, nor does it cause violence, nor does it encourage violence against women. And I believe even Nilavani will agree with that as well. I don't believe Nilavani believes that video games encourages violence.
Like, honestly, one of my fastest growing favorite guys to quote, Jesse Cox, turned around and said something best. Just because if in a video game, I want to be in a video game where I can be the bad guy. I want to run around and shoot people